Why is it so hard for some NBA players to assimilate to the European game? I'm going to tell you why. And it's a complex answer. I mean, the first part of the answer is it's a completely different country that you're going to, right? There's completely different norms. There's completely different systems. It's like outside of basketball, just like society, right? So imagine you're a kid from Los Angeles. Your whole life, you grew up in high school through the AAU systems, and whenever you travel, you're staying in 5-star hotels, eating at 5-star restaurants, and you probably know the owners, and you're hanging out. Then you go to college and you get treated even better. Steak every night, and now you got the NIL, so throw that in the mix. Then you go to the league, like times 10, because you got all the things that you had before, but now you also have a multi-million-dollar salary. So now you're really untouchable. People are looking at you, treating you like a king. Now, the second that you leave that lifestyle, the next thing that you go into is automatically going to be a tough transition. Like, even if you stop playing ball after you left the league, it's going to be a tough transition to your next venture. Keep it in basketball now, to bring it back. When you transition to another country to play, one, your way of life, your way of living is automatically going to be drastically altered. And now you're not staying at your standard of a 5-star hotel. You're staying at these hotel rooms with somebody next to you, and the bed is like, the size of a door frame. The bed is going to be in close proximity to the person that you're sleeping next to. All my Europeans watching this are going to say, yeah, that's normal for us. But for the Americans watching it, you're going to be like, oh, okay, that's different, right? So now imagine that times 100, because everywhere you go, there's a difference, right? You go to the restaurant and you're trying to order your favorite meal. They don't even know what you're talking about because you don't speak the language. All right? You don't speak the language. And then when you finally do cross that language barrier, now you got to cross the food barrier because they might not even prepare what you asking. I remember being in Spain, and one thing I was always craving was like some mac and cheese and fried chicken. And for me, I thought that was a simple concept, right? Because macaroni is like a form of pasta. You still cheese in the mix, and chicken, you just fry it, deep fry it. I was talking to the head chef of the restaurant that we used to eat at. It took like a week for me to get the concept of the meal to him. And when he finally understood it, he was all for it. And like, he prepared it for us. He's a great guy, man. Yoseba, great guy. Salute. If you're watching this, I love you, bro. So he prepares the meal, and he was so proud of it because like he had never done it before. And he's like taking pictures of it. He posted on the team on his restaurant's Instagram page, like, "Oh, I made my players their home." And it's like, it was such a big deal. And I'm like, yo, this is the most basic thing. I was trying to tell you this because I'm trying to take it easy on you. It's like the most basic meal I could think of. These kind of things matter when you're trying to assimilate to the playing style, because now you get on the court and you're being coached in a different way. I always use the Lonnie Walker example because Lonnie Walker in the game, one of his first games overseas, he had 19 points. When Lonnie Walker was in the league and he had 19 points when he played for the Lakers, he was on SportsCenter's front page. He was on the first scene of SportsCenter. He was leading it because he had a big dunk and he had 19 points off the bench, and everybody's loving him. However, in this particular game, after he dropped 19, his coach went to the press. And mind you, he was struggling before. When he first came overseas, he had a 0-point game, and then he had an 11-point game. And now he's got his footing, he's got his jet lag out of his system, and he had 19. The coach says, yeah, he made 1,000 defensive mistakes. He's not with the team. So imagine you scoring 19, you finally get your game off, and the first thing the coach says to the press is he's not in his game. He made 1,000, not 100 mistakes. He made 1,000 mistakes on defense. In their culture, that's fine to talk to a player like that. And that's fine to talk about your player like that. You know why? Because the coaches are backed by the clubs, right? The power dynamic is different. See, in the States, the players have so much power, like especially in the NBA now, the players hold the whole power. Like the agents and the players run the league. But overseas, the GMs are empowered by the presidents, and the coaches are empowered by the GMs. Like, they have the power because every year the team is liable to change. The core of the team changes every year overseas, right? It's such a high turnover system. So now your room for error mentally is so short because you play decent and you might get ripped for it. You play crappy and you're not even gonna play. Like they're not even gonna play with you. Like, all right, man, you ain't ready. Go sit on the bench. Give me 2 minutes. Look at Stanley Johnson. Stanley Johnson came from high school. He was a high school All-American, and he was highly touted at his college. I think he went to Arizona, right? Gets drafted, and now he's overseas. Do you know what team he's on? I do. Fenerbahce. Do you know how much points he averages? 2 points in 8 minutes. That's a lottery pick. Averaging 8 minutes. It's because he's not assimilated with the whole system. People think it's just basketball. Man, I ain't just talking about basketball. That's a hard life transition. And we're going to continue to see examples of people coming over and it not working out right away. See, now the way that NBA contracts are set up with the second apron, bottom to mid-tier bench guy, he can get a bigger bag overseas, right? Some of these clubs overseas can offer him a little bit more money net. So the NBA can offer you a higher gross salary, but with their take home, you guys know how that goes, man. You got all these taxes, state taxes, jock taxes, and expenses, agent payouts, all that stuff. So you look at a guy like Kendrick Nunn, y'all might say, man, why he don't come back to the league? He's not in a rush to come back to the league. He's going to come back to the league and he's going to net less. Whereas in his club that he's at now, he got a Porsche as a signing bonus. The whole club loves him. He's probably doing business with the local businessmen. Like, he's in a great situation. But on the outside looking in, you probably just looking at it from a basketball's point of view and saying, hey, man, you need to come back to the league. You killed in the EuroLeague already. Come back to the league. No, I can kill and I can eat more. So expect to see more people coming over. And when you don't see that direct hit, like you don't see the dude coming over and just getting right to 20 points a game, don't be alarmed, man. That's normal. Make sure you guys follow the channel, man. Like, subscribe to the video, follow the channel. We got more content like this coming out for you boys. See ya.